Hello, this is Candy from Eyes2Jesus.blogspot.com, and welcome to 4th of July 2018 with Eyes2Jesus. This is July 3rd. This is preparation where we are preparing for July 4th. And we are going to a party tomorrow held by some very dear friends. So we're going to bring some food to contribute to the party. So my daughter Rachel, you want to say hi?
Hi.
My daughter Rachel and I are making some sweet potato fries, biscuits, and blondies. So Miss Rachel is working on the sweet potato fries right now. She is actually really good at making them. So she's just peeling, washing, and chopping up some sweet potatoes for now. And then she'll do some oil and seasonings and then pop it in a 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes. Then flip them over, pop them back in for 10 minutes, and then those will be done. So while she's working on that, I'm going to get started on biscuits. So I need to come over here, excuse me child, and I need to get a bowl. So I'm just going to do about a dozen or so biscuits, so this size bowl will be fine. Alright, so in here I need to get flour. And I'm just going to do basic white flour drop biscuits. Then I need to get a measuring cup. There it is. So I'm going to start by, in my bowl, putting in 2 cups of white flour. And I am big on putting things away in the kitchen as soon as you're done with them to keep things from getting too messy. So I'm going to put this white flour back, and that way it'll also be out of the way. Alright, and then to the white flour, I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of pure raw honey. So I got my tablespoon. Then grab some honey. And I prefer raw honey. So I'm just going to do approximately 2 tablespoons of the raw honey. Now I'm going to rinse my hands here. And honey rinses off very quickly. Honey is amazing. It's probably the best food to stock up on. Make sure it's real honey and that it's pure and raw. It never goes bad. You can use it for wounds and all sorts of skin conditions. It's good for your immune system to take internally. And you can even wash your body and your hair with it. It's amazing stuff. Who would have thought bee spit could be so powerful, right? Okay. And I just have my planner over here on the counter because I don't try to memorize all of my recipes. I do make biscuits often, but I want to make sure I get all the measurements correctly since we're doing this on video. Alright, so next I'm going to do 3 teaspoons of baking powder. And I like to do aluminum-free baking powder. I use a 1 teaspoon measurement. So 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Put that back. Oh, Miss Rachel, can you let the dog in? I forgot she's outside. I hear her scratching at the door. Okay, and then we're going to do 3/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and I usually just measure out salt in the palm of my hand. I think that's all for the dry ingredients. Let me just double check. Yep. Okay, so now let's do a 1/2 stick of butter. So it looks like I'm going to be finishing off a stick and then starting another stick. Whoops. Hello, Miss Tracy. The dog is coming to visit. Now for the butter, I am using Gold butter. I specifically like the Kerrygold brand. And see what I mean? It is literally gold butter. It's not dyed yellow. It's not that sickly white. This is from grass-fed cows. Extremely good for you and worth the extra bucks. Okay, let me double check on how much milk. I believe it's a cup. Yep, 1 cup of milk. So I'm going to do 1 cup of whole milk, and use organic milk if you can get it. So I'll get my 1 cup measuring cup here. And there's my 1 cup of milk. Now, that tablespoon that I used to dish out the honey, I am now just using to get this mixed together. I'm using the back of the tablespoon to kind of spread around the butter so we can get that more introduced into the mixture here. How are you doing on cutting up sweet potatoes?
It's going pretty good.
Sweet potatoes are hard, huh?
Yeah.
So remember to keep an eye on all 10 fingers. You can even end up cutting a finger holding the knife if you're not careful. So yeah, folks, when you're cutting something tricky like an acorn squash, or in her case, sweet potatoes, make sure you are keeping track of all 10 fingers, because even the fingers holding the knife can slide down and get in front of the blade. Now, I'm just scraping the sides of the bowl and under the bowl and flipping the dough over. You don't want it amazingly mixed. Biscuit, batter, or dough is best left a bit unmixed. Alright, I'm going to grab a cookie sheet. Now, normally I do these on a big cookie sheet, but my daughter's using the big one for the sweet potato fries, so I'm going to do a medium cookie sheet and just kind of cram them a bit crowded, and unbuttered, ungreased. Alright, and I'm going to grab a butter knife. And now I'm just going to pop these onto the cookie sheet, and it's going to make about 12 to 13. Okay, so I got about a dozen biscuits here out of my cookie sheet, and I do drop biscuits, and so that's why my batter was a bit wet. If you prefer to do traditional biscuits with the dough and a biscuit cutter, you make the same mixture I made, but you want to do about a half cup of milk instead of a whole cup of milk, and then just add a little bit more as needed until you get a biscuit dough consistency. But if you do drop biscuits like me, you want a more wet batter, in which case a whole cup of milk. So my oven is preheated to 450, so I'm going to pop these in, and they're going to go at 450 degrees for 8 minutes. All right, so while the ovens are going, I'm going to get started on making the blondies. So if you don't know what a blondie is, think about brownies. We know what brownies are. Okay, a blondie is a brownie, but instead of it being chocolate like brownies, it is butterscotch. Therefore, it's not brown, it's blonde, so they're called blondies. So blondies are really fun to make, by the way. So in this pot, I just put in 2 cups of packed brown sugar and 2/3 cup of butter. So now I'm going to turn on the heat, and I'm going to get this butter mixed in and mix in this brown sugar. I have the butter and brown sugar melted and mixed together over heat. I turned off the heat and I moved this away from the heat to let that burner cool. Alright, and now we're going to mix several more ingredients in here while it is still warm. So let's start with 2 eggs, and I personally like to use omega-3 eggs. And I am finishing off an egg carton here that happened to just have 2 eggs left in it. Okay, and I'm going to give my hands a little bit of a rinse. Alright, now I'm going to just break these egg yolks to make this all easier to stir together in a minute. Alright, and in addition to those 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm just going to eyeball it on the vanilla. Can you get the phone for me, sweetie?
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, I've got to keep an eye on my timer. The biscuits are about to come out. Alright, and then I know I need baking powder and baking soda, so I'm just checking my amount. So I need 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 of baking soda. Alright. It's 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Then 1/4 of baking soda. Well, I have a 1/2 teaspoon here, so I'll just do half of a half teaspoon. Thank you, kiddo. that's all I mix in for now. Let me double check my recipe. Yep. So I'm going to put these things away. And then I'm going to bring over the flour, because obviously when you're making brownies or blondies, you need flour. And how much flour does this recipe take? 2 cups. This cup has brown sugar in it, so I think I better switch to a different cup now. Alright, 2 cups of flour, and I'm just using white flour, but it could be fun to maybe do a mixture of rice flour and almond flour sometime, or some spelt, but just going to do white flour today. That is our signal. The biscuits are ready to come out of the oven. So biscuits are out. Tips are golden brown, so I know that they are done. You just got to look for brown on the tips. So that's working out good. Alright, and I just added 2 cups of flour for the blondies. So let's get that mixed in there. And then here's what it looks like. And it smells, oh, so good. Yummy. That's going to smell amazing when it bakes.
I chopped up 3 sweet potatoes in, I guess, like fry shapes and put them onto a cookie sheet. And now, you could do the oil before, but I just do it after because I like putting it on top of them too. So now I'm just going to pour some grapeseed oil. There we go. Alright. And then I need to grab some seasonings. Salt and pepper. Just basic. Alright, and just sprinkle some salt and pepper. It's pretty simple. These are easy to make, but it does take a while to prep them. That looks like better.
Yeah, it smells so good.
Alright, I like to put kind of a lot of pepper, but like not too much, because the pepper adds a nice flavor. Especially mixed with the oil and salt. Alright. Come on, does it look good?
It looks good. Alright, so my daughter showed you what she's doing with the sweet potato fries. I'm going to let them sit on the counter while the blondies bake, because the blondies are getting really close and I don't want them to sit out. And then once the blondies are baked, then she will be baking the sweet potatoes. So I just now poured the blondie batter mixture into a nice big, maybe 11 by 7, maybe a bit bigger, baking pan. Then I'm just spreading them around at the bottom of a spoon. Okay, and now I'm going to add some toppings before I bake this. So I'm going to grab some sliced almonds and some shredded coconut.
The batter's really good.
Did I say the battery's low?
The batter is really
good. Okay. The batter is good. Alright, so I got some sliced almonds. And I don't really measure this. I just sprinkle them on top so that it looks good. And then, of course, it tastes really good. Alright, and get some coconut. Also, if you put on the almonds and the coconut as toppings, it'll help it look more like a dessert or a treat rather than a side dish, which it certainly is not. This is sweet. Otherwise, if you don't do almonds or some type of nuts and a coconut or something else on top, then when it's baked, it kind of comes out of the oven looking like cornbread. So And especially if you're going to a potluck or an event, you want it to look like a dessert, not like cornbread. Here, I'm going to give my hands a rinse. And plus, wow, I mean the almonds and the coconut really adds to the flavor. Alright, let me check my planner. I want to make sure I have the correct numbers here. I have the oven at 350 degrees now. Alright, so it says to bake at 350 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to get it going at 350 degrees, and then I'm going to check it at 20 minutes with the toothpick test, and if it's not done, then I'll check it every few minutes until it is.
So the blondies are out of the oven, so now I can put in the sweet potato fries. So, like I said earlier, it's 3 sweet potato fries with grapeseed oil, salt, and pepper. And you're going to put it in a 400-degree oven for 15 minutes, and then flip them over, and then put it back in for another 10 minutes, and then they should be done after that.
And there's the sweet potatoes. They just came out of the oven, so we're going to let them cool off, and then we're going to put them between some paper towels to kind of sop off the extra grease, and then they'll be ready for tomorrow's party. And then over here are the blondies. I got them cut, and I'm getting ready now to move them onto probably a couple of paper plates and cover those over with saran wrap to bring tomorrow. And then here are the biscuits. They are done and they are cooled. So we are ready to bring the goodies to the party tomorrow. And now it is time to start getting supper ready today. Are you done?
Yes, what else is there to say?
Hello everybody, welcome to 4th of July with Eyes2Jesus. So you saw yesterday we were doing some cooking and preparations for today. So now we're all getting ready to go to our friend's pool party for 4th of July. It's going to be a pool party and a barbecue. So Rachel and I are wearing matching swimsuit cover-ups, and this year we're also wearing matching swimsuits. So we're getting ready to head out right now.
1 minute.
Keep on singing, we liked it. Alright, my love, so we're on our way to party.
That's right, Ever-dubbing. Good doings.
Oh yeah.
Good doings.
Yeah, we be
Ever-dubbing.
cruising. It's a beautiful day for a pool party.
Yeah.
Well, we are almost to the party, and my friend Paige, who lives in the UK, has been keeping me company. We have been private messaging back and forth on Facebook. Hi, Paige.
Oh no.
Mom, it was like this big around.
Right like
Matchy swimsuits. But strap is all long and floppy. I can play with it.
Yeah. Jump in again. I gotta do the same thing. Nice.
Mom,
What's that? Did you get pumpkin? No. Oh, you want to jump again? Oh.
Alright, so now it is time to have some grub. I've got some rice and some grilled chicken, pasta salad, sweet potato fries, strawberry jello, chocolate covered strawberry, and a blondie. What do you have, child?
My lunch is yellow, pretty much.
She's got yellow.
Yeah, I have a biscuit, some like plain chips, rice, a burger, and sweet potato fries.
Mine's prettier.
Mine's better. Stop.
Alright, now get them, because they're standing there.
Yeah.
Really, Mom?
The shirt, man.
It's cool. Yeah?
Cheers.
I need to get marble shirts.
Joseph wears my Civil War shirt now. But we're gonna get ready and head on out.
You're going to leave the party?
Put your hat back on, mister. I get two. Joseph, it's a vicious butterfly. It must be from SpongeBob. Yeah, it's a butterfly from SpongeBob. I don't want to be like Joseph, slow down, Rocky. I'm gonna get you.
Alright, so we just got back home to change clothes and are getting ready to head out pretty soon. And this is my eye protection, which I no longer need because the sun is going down. And this is my ear protection. I am going to be able to watch fireworks this year without having to plug my ears because they're being plugged for me. So we're actually getting ready to head out in about 10 minutes to watch the fireworks. It feels like dog poop over here. The dog went.
Stop it.
Okay.
Ew. You just kicked a really big dead fried worm.
That's enough. This is awkward.